need to be a little careful with the linguistics here, because even the stimulation of the ovaries during the IVF cycle is sometimes still labeled as a COH, or controlled ovarian hyperstimulation, meaning that normally in the cycle there's just one follicle growing. Here we're actually supporting all the antral follicles recruited for this cycle, and we're motivating them to grow. Whenever there's a larger number than, let's say, 15, some set this threshold at 18, some at 20 follicles of a certain size, then it's usually felt as a pressure in the belly. The ovaries grow larger. Usually they're about the size of a plum during the stimulation. They can grow to the size of an orange or a grapefruit even. So that can bring certain pressure and discomfort. Still, during the stimulation itself, there's minimal or no risk of the hyperstimulation. The problem or the syndrome usually only ensues after the so-called maturation trigger shot is distributed. This used to be just the HCG hormone, either pregnal or vitral, which actually supports the ripening of the eggs very successfully. It has a positive effect on the endometrium, on the receptivity on the endometrium, but it has a rather long biological half-life. And in those cases where there was a larger number of follicles, more than 18, more than 20, and then this shot was actually, after its distribution, working slowly through a time period of 6 or 7 days, this was the situation where the hyperstimulation eventually started to bother the patient. Fortunately, in the past 5, 6, 7 days, there is an alternative to that. It came actually with a new cryopreservation methods, where now the embryos, if we perform the so-called freeze-all, meaning we freeze all the embryos and perform the transfer later. Now the current cryopreservation methods are so gentle that the embryos can withstand the cryopreservation very well without any lowering of their success rates. Thanks to that, we don't need to focus on the endometrium, and the triggering of the egg maturation is performed with a different injection, which stops its effect after approximately 12 to 24 hours, and no hyperstimulation ensues. So currently we are talking about the so-called hyperstimulation-free clinic, because we have alternatives which successfully help us avoid this problem, and this should be now a problem of the past.